Former Spurs forward Kawhi Leonard has released his first statement since being traded to Toronto.
Evan Klosky is here with reaction to Kawhi's thank you letter.
There is no doubt Kawhi Leonard is public enemy #1 in this town, but after an almost year-long dispute with the Spurs organization and radio silence essentially during the entirety of that time, Leonard has finally released a statement expressing his gratitude for his 7 years in San Antonio. Here's the first sentence from the letter via the San Antonio Express-News. "I have been going back and forth the last few weeks trying to figure out the right things to say, and it comes down to two simple words. Thank you." And I've heard a lot of other two simple words from fans today on social media, and I'm not going to put them on air. Leonard goes on to thank the Spurs organization, the people and fans of San Antonio, his teammates, Greg Popovich for helping him develop as a player, and then the fans again. He says he'll never forget what was accomplished during his time as a Spur. And as you can imagine, a lot of opinions regarding this on social media. And many agree with Fernando Ramos saying, "Too little, too late, Kawhi." Another popular question is something Catastrata asked, wondering if Leonard actually wrote this piece in the first place. And National Basketball writer Frank Isola makes a salient point, wondering who is advising Kawhi to do what he's doing because he's getting bad advice. And I just want to provide some perspective out there. Coincidentally, a longtime baseball player for the Minnesota Twins who recently got traded issued a thank you letter to the Minneapolis area. And look at this. Fairly swanky. We got beautiful pictures and everything. Here's the Leonard letter. Maybe it's popping up. There it is. Boom. And I'm glad the most distinguishable feature is the logo, his own logo at the bottom. His thank you note just comes off bland and empty, which perfectly illustrates how the fan base feels about Kawhi and his departure. Deborah and Jeff.
Alrighty. Thank you, Evan.